here for Bulls.
Look at that. That is good.
Like,
You love
that's
that?
his best wardrobe choice
Ever.
in the history of the show.
Classic
Where
fun.
you get that from?
I got it from the Cavs team shop like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
That's a good look.
That's
It fit me a
great
little
look.
better then. It's a little tighter now.
Great
but-
look.
That's a hot shirt.
I love
And
this
as long
sweater.
as we're talking about wardrobes,
Yeah.
Mike, explain.
Well, I'm celebrating another start from a man Baker.
Yeah.
Danger
You
Mayfield.
didn't say a good start.
No,
but a
I just
start.
said another start.
Is that
hey,
based
every
off
day?
his I woke up feeling dangerous?
Yeah, that's what it is. He
Yeah.
woke up feeling dangerous. I think it's also based on Danger Mouse. Remember?
I do.
Remember Danger
Yeah.
Mouse?
Danger.
So I think that's the image they use. But hey, he had another start.
Yeah.
Lives to fight another day. The Baker Bros get another feather in their cap, and sure, it didn't work out, but that guy's gonna get another chance next year. You know. he is.
I think he's going to get another chance in L.A.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
Stafford said today he's not retiring, so.
Well, I don't expect that he would say that yet, but boy,
Fair.
did you read about his injury?
It's bad. Spinal column.
Really bad,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a risk of re-injury
Yeah.
and even worse down the road. So at some point, common sense
What's
might
wrong
kick
with it?
in.
Like
spinal cord.
in his brain to want to keep doing this after he won a Super Bowl and has injured himself so badly again
Just
and
live
again
on
and
the-
is a
on the,
billionaire.
Little Caesars.
Just relax.
commercial
Does he think he's going to outlast Tom Brady and have a better
Yeah,
legacy?
no.
Get out of the game. You still can
especially
think.
because the Rams' future is so bleak.
It is.
You know, last night in their 14th game, they used their 15th different offensive line combination.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
mortgaged-
the Browns were decimated with injuries.
They mortgaged their future. It paid off, but now they're paying the repercussions.
It's worth it.
It
They
is. I
won
was
the
just going to ask
They
you that
got their
question.
ring.
So for the
100%.
Browns to win one and then go 3-14 for the next 5 years, sign me up.
Yeah.
Why
I'd take it.
Why you think we still rock with the Cavs? The Cavs won in 2016. We
Yeah.
knew they was going to tear it down.
Yeah.
They got to a place right now where they're a good team. They got some other pieces and parts. And now you're like, cool, it's
Now
fun to watch again.
they're rebuilding. In fact, we're going to start with the Cavs. We're going to do that in just a second. But little business to take care of. Jen Matthews is going to be here. We have opponent trivia this week.
Okay.
And
And real
she's going to
quick
have
with
us
Jen,
trivia questions
There's
on.
a special edition of Jen Matthews trivia that is going to make Mike Polk's life.
Nice.
Make
Really?
your life?
Nice. That
gonna
tells
make
me
his
it's
life.
Masters of the Gridiron related.
I think that means Clay's going to join with Masters of Gridiron costume.
Wearing his outfit. They're
would-
probably
Will the
still.
bear be there?
It'll be
The
good.
bear
I
might be
promise.
there. Probably
Yeah.
still
The
fits
bear.
like a glove.
With the bear. Also, we're going to dive into the Brown Saints, and we're going to. DJ Hazmat's on the show.
Yeah.
Guy.
If DJ is awesome. Every week, every single week after the game, win or lose, he produces a really high quality music video, original song, and he usually turns it by Tuesday.
That's
Now,
crazy.
It's
It's going
nuts.
to debut here, right?
That churn
It's going to
is crazy.
debut here, and I hope moving forward it will debut here every week.
That'd be awesome.
We've used him at Channel 3 a time or two. I think the guy is wildly talented. I'm not sure how he hasn't landed something on a national scene yet.
Yeah.
Because the audience that he caters to is just so dialed in to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He could do a weekly recap video. Can you imagine if he was to write a song on Week 15's games?
Oh, my God.
An original rap song and then
Yeah.
all the video. It's
Oh, yeah. People
And he was
love
on the
that.
wildly
Barbershop.
talented guy.
Oh, he was
on
in
the
the barbershop.
barbershop.
Yeah.
And he was the first dude when I wanted to interview. I was like, I need you in here, dog. And he's actually a black Baker bro. It's almost like being
Wow.
a black. It's like being a black conservative.
It's like being a log cabin, like being a log cabin Republican.
Yeah, it's
G.
like
Bush.
he's the Candace Owens of football.
Candace Owens of the
I
Baker
bet-
Bros.
I'll tell you guys the backstory, but take Tagboard full. This was the first barbershop with DJ Hazmat. I'll tell you the story behind this picture, which is absurd when Hazmat's on, because I'm curious if he remembers what.
So that's Hazmat next to Earl.
Yeah, I met Earl
with
for
the
the first time that
sunglasses.
day, and we'll tell you how the rest of
You
that
could
went
not
down.
look douchier in that, by the way, Mike.
G. Bush has
honestly.
some explaining to do, but we got to wait for
yeah,
Hazmat
right.
to come
Well,
on.
just
G. Bush has some real
humiliating.
explaining to do, 'cause he did
Yo,
me dirty.
it was
He did me
funny as
dirty.
hell.
So that's a little teaser for when Hazmat
That
joins
is
us about
brutal.
12:15.
Okay, very good. And
By the way, shout out to Jim Mitch on Twitter, who apparently knows Brad Sellers, who I picked him as the winner of the Baker Mayfield
wow.
jersey giveaway.
What did he say or do to win the Baker jersey?
I just thought he had a well, first of all, you had to be following me on Twitter. I didn't
Yeah.
say that, but I'm not giving it to somebody who's not a fan.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
And then I went through your timeline to see if you were nice, seemed like a nice guy or not.
that was nice.
And
Scrub your account.
And well, I don't know. And then it was like, what did you say? And
Check for QAnon references.
Honestly, 80%
Election deniers.
80% of the responses were like, I'm going to use it for toilet paper. I'm going to use it for kindling. So I did want to give it to somebody that actually liked Baker and wanted to use it. And Jim was like, my wife loves Baker. She's a huge fan. And she loves taking in strays like me. It was just like a funny line.
That's cute.
And he seemed like his wife really wanted it, so
Good for
I
you.
sent
Good
it
for
out
him.
this
Good for
morning.
you.
I've lost all my Baker animus. I'll tell you, we'll talk about it a little later, but I've kind of lost my Baker animus.
I don't feel like
good.
you ever hated him.
Nah, yeah.
I mean,
Unlike
you
me.
were advocating for a stretch there that maybe he's the answer this year.
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah,
for a brief moment.
You know, I can't wait till he starts his career in
But he sucked
broadcasting.
ass yesterday, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
he was
terrible.
bad Baker.
Wasn't great.
I literally was watching going, how is this? I don't know that I've ever seen a player, any sport, that has been so Jekyll and Hyde.
Ever.
Because, guys, I know he was, overall here, he was bad, but he had moments where we all thought in that moment, oh, he's the answer. At
Ian,
some point, we thought that.
I'm sorry, McNuggets. I
That
do
is
it
true, even I.
I do it every time.
And then last week,
I know,
with
I didn't-
2
it's
days
over.
in the system,
Okay.
he looked like he was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And then this week, now granted, my God, their offensive line. I mean,
All right, we gotta
Cooper
pull 'em
Kupp's
out. We gotta
out,
pull 'em
Aaron
out.
Donald's out. Yeah, we got to stop.
Yeah, we'll get back to it later.
We're
We gotta
coming
stop.
back to Baker.
The-
Let's get back to
the
Baker.
Cavs.
Do you want to do your Cavs read the Browns read before we do the Cavs, the Tri-C?
No, we'll do
Cuyahoga?
Yeah.
Browns Talk is brought to us by Tri-C. So when we get to the Browns, we'll do the Browns.
Okay,
We'll
so we'll
start
hold
with
off
the
on that.
Cavs.
All
All
right.
It's an unsponsored segment. So if you want to sponsor
Yeah.
Cavs Talk,
Hey.
hit us up.
Yes.
Cavs is coming. The winner is
Yeah.
coming. Cavs got the best record. You got a long winter. Browns are going to be out of here. What a perfect way. Go ahead
People
and
like
hit
this
my
team.
man McNuggets.
The
man.
city
Yeah,
likes this
sponsors
team.
it.
We
Guys,
need a
I was-
Cavs Talk sponsor.
I was saying this to Jay and to Mike before the show, and I'm curious your take on this. The crowd, obviously, this year has been just electric.
Yeah.
15
when
and
the
2 at
Cavs
home.
play.
Best
And
home
the
record.
best home record. And the way the crowd's been for these games, I think, plays a big role in why they've been so good at home. And part of the reason I think it's so crazy there is because, think about this. Since Daugherty, Price, Nance, maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. But for the most part, for 30 years, the Cavs have either had LeBron and it was championship or bust, or the team sucked. There's basically been no in between.
Right.
Now, you got a little taste of it last year, but right now this team feels good, but you're not sure how good. Like, they could lose in the first round of the playoffs. They could go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe they can even go to the finals. They have the 3rd best record in the league. They're 2 games back in Milwaukee for the best record in the league. So there's this unknown energy about the Cavs from the fans that we haven't really had in decades.
It's true.
And I think that plays into this energy.
They'd be the
the
1
crowd
seed
has.
in the West right now.
You know what? I think he said a lot there too, though, as far as that fan. And you if you listen to these players, you listen to Mitchell about why they're so good at home.
Yeah.
They mention the fans. And of course, players always say that. They say we've got the best fans in every sport.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
But you can tell when they're saying it. These guys mean it. And if you've been to those games, then you know what a factor that is, and the record proves it. What they did was, unlike the other 2 franchises in this town, I do believe this, they have done a very good job training their fan base, and appreciating their fan base, and not only in the good years, but in the lean years too. In those years when the Cavs stunk and LeBron wasn't here and post Price and Dougherty, they were always making sure that place was still full of Boy Scouts for free. Or Boys and Girls Clubs people for free.
Right.
Loudville, giving them these tickets and making sure and feeding that fan base, making sure they have a giveaway every night for kids and stuff like that. They've really encouraged the youth to encourage and support this team.
Smart.
And they've been doing it for a decade. So those kids who were 8 years old back then going to a game as a Cub Scout are now 18 years old and saving enough money and going to a game. So Dan Gilbert, for some of his failings, has shown a real appreciation and an understanding of the fan base and what they appreciate and what they like in a way that the Browns organization and the Guardians/Indians have not.
And I'll even go to your point and add on to that. The Browns used to have one of the best advantages in all of football with the dog pound, right? But now they've stripped a lot of that stuff away from the dog pound. I was laughing and joking the other day. I was like, is there a thing called the dog pound anymore? Do we even signify what that is?
Now they just call it like the whole stadium is the dog pound.
It's the memory of what used to be.
Yeah.
But for anybody
it's a
that
shadow.
watched 1 quarter of football in the real dog pound
Yeah.
knows that what they try to pass off as the dog pound now is laughable. It's just nowhere
weird.
near the same energy because, that happened organically.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
named it the dog pound until Hanford Dixon realized those are dogs. Those are our dogs. And it was a different experience watching the game from there.
In fairness, almost everything that was happening in the dog pound in the 80s would be considered highly problematic at this point
Well,
in history.
most of it was illegal.
Right.
Yeah, most of it was, literally.
Yeah.
It was
So,
very
I'm not sure they want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But that stuff happens organically. You
Yeah.
can't title a
No, you
section
can't.
and have it.
It's like
you
the
know,
black hole with the Raiders.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it has to happen for
And
real.
so
You
the
can't.
Cavs, to me, like they have the best home court advantage. Now, Roracle was big back in the day. You used to feel the energy, and you used to actually be intimidated when you used to see the Cavs in 16 go play the Warriors. I'm like, man, it's loud. Those dagger threes, the roof is coming off the building in the first quarter. But I'm gonna tell you this: they trained the Cavs fans that they understand that it's no lead is too big. They can always come back. And they bring up a level of play, and they understand that the players feed on that. And the great thing about it is, Donovan Mitchell, when they were chanting MVP, I'm like, yeah, keep chanting that MVP because you guys have a lot to do and say with how many All-Stars they get, how much people want to come play here. And all of that matters, and you could just do that by just doing your part.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Mitchell's comments about his days in Salt Lake? There was a piece on
Eye-opening.
I was
Oh,
stunned.
you mean not? These aren't recent. How recent?
Yeah, it was
No,
yesterday.
like
Oh, okay.
before the
It
game.
was before the game because
essentially
Salt
said-
Lake was in town.
Yeah.
He opened the diary
Really?
on his time in Salt Lake and talked about racial, well, first of all, I think that what I took away from it being a Cavs fan is how proud I am to be from here. He said it's so nice to be playing in a city that respects and appreciates diversity, and it looks like me.
Right.
And then he talked about his time in Salt Lake, about how just experiences that he had and experiences. He talked about a young boy or girl, I'm not sure, who committed suicide because they were being bullied because of their skin color. And he talked about how one time he had a police altercation where he was pulled over, and as soon as they found out he was Donovan Mitchell, the whole tone changed. Oh, bro, you're
Yeah, I
good.
got you.
You're good.
Yeah,
And it
got
was,
you.
and the author of the piece, whose name escapes me right now, he writes a lot for CBS, made a point to basically say this is no secret in NBA circles.
Sure.
Yeah.
This has been an experience for African American players in
Right.
Salt Lake for a very long time. Obviously, the percentage of black population in Salt Lake is far different than it is in Cleveland. But
it's low.
what surprised me was that he was so open about it.
Yeah. Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think is he burning Utah to the ground there? I mean, is that the organization's fault?
Listen, if
Half
I'm
of it.
if I'm a free agent, I think that kind of weighs into my future thinking.
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so he didn't do Salt Lake any favors, but I mean, he spoke his truth, and I'm always okay with people speaking
Yeah,
their
I'm
truth.
fine with it.
Russell Westbrook had an issue.
And they talked about it.
Yeah.
Now, in the piece, they talked about opposing players that had issues, and his point was, I'm
to
one
be
of
there-
them.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I had issues.
Yeah, he had to park
It was
there.
just it was a strong take for a guy who generally comes off as being, I don't want to say PC, but he's always saying the right thing.
And that's an intentional thing he did, obviously.
Oh, there's no
because
question
it's not
he
like
did
that was
that.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
He went in there with an intent, and he waited
Yeah.
for this game to talk about it. Also, I will notice, Lauri Markkanen, none of the same complaints so far in Utah. Did you
Yeah,
notice
we haven't
that?
heard that. Boy, he played well
weird?
last night.
He actually had a good game.
He's been playing well.
He's
But the-
thriving.
The Cavs play.
Laurie Marketing is good.
He's, All he had to do was
The
get to
Cavs
Salt
could
Lake
use-
City.
Obviously, we would take that trade 100 times out of 100. But I'd like to have Laurie Marketing
The
back.
thin fin,
I
I
would
want
too.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
He'd be
get.
a perfect fit.
I would too. He was a big piece.
He's
that
the
we gave
missing
up.
piece.
I'm
that
trying
Let
to
me
get-
read
so
some
do I.
numbers
I love 'em.
from the game that I
Yeah.
think speak to what you guys are talking about how the crowd energizes this team.
Yeah.
We already talked about the 15-2 best home record in
Yeah.
the NBA. The Cavs shot 61%.
Yeah, they were on fire.
The Jazz shot 39%.
Yeah.
And that was that's a product of the crowd feeding the defensive effort of the Cavaliers. From three-point range, the Jazz shot 29%. The Cavs doubled that at 58%. You're going to win all of your games if these are the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to win all of your games
122-99.
if Isaac Okoro scores double
How
double
about
figures.
this?
I know.
How about that
You're gonna
sweet
win all your
dunk he
games.
had?
I know.
I mean, he was way up there.
Okoro!
It was nuts.
But everybody, they had, what, 7 guys in double figures, I think?
It was very
Yeah.
balanced. I think
Yes.
Mitchell led with 23.
And he only played 23 minutes.
Allen had 20, and Garland had 17. And I think the way it was dispersed last night, like I never thought, oh, he needs to get more involved.
6 players in double figures last night.
That's
It was
incredible.
7.
Is it
They
7?
were really,
Seven?
really, really good last night. And
Yeah,
I would
because Jetty, all the starters had double digits, and Jetty and Levert had double
Yeah,
digits.
you're
And
right.
everybody shot over 50%.
Yes.
I mean, it was just insane.
I would
their
argue
shooting percentage.
they've had bigger wins, like beating the Celtics early in the season was
Sure.
a bigger win. I'd argue
Yeah.
that was their best performance of the season, start to finish, against the Jazz team that's pretty damn scrappy.
I thought the Mavericks just last week. I thought that was a pretty damn impressive too.
That was really, but
The
when you
win
look at the
in
shooting
Dallas.
numbers and how they held Utah, who averages I think 117 points a game to
Yeah.
under
I also-
100.
Although they're not as good on the road.
They're not as Jazz aren't
either.
as good as they're playing either. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
that they're going to realize.
And they're like the Cavs are much better at home, but it was, in a lot of these Cavs games, there's been one quarter where they've played crappy basketball, even when they win.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that. Like they dominated the first half, and then it was pretty even scoring in the second half. But they actually outscored them in all 4 quarters last night. So
Impressive,
it was,
impressive.
and I'll tell you another thing about this team, which helps, and the Guardians have this too, and the Browns don't. The team's likable.
Yes.
Very likable.
They're very likable.
and they like each other.
They like each other, and we like that as fans, don't we?
I think we do.
We like it.
Yeah.
It's in a way it's silly. Maybe it doesn't matter. When I feel like the players on my team like each other, it gives me a warm feeling. I
Because
like that.
We're watching them have fun, and it
Right.
becomes more fun for us, the
Yes.
experience, whether
Yes.
it's a TV or
Yes.
we're in the arena. It's that really rubs off. People love to watch other people have fun.
It always
Yes.
felt a little mercenary when you would see like LeBron and Kyrie out there because you
Right.
knew that they they weren't like fond of each other
No.
necessarily, but they were there for a purpose. You could fight through it. But if those two like every once in a while they genuinely hug each other, high five, and we were all like, "Oh, good, they like each other. Oh, thank God." You know what I mean? But with
like-
this team, they're like that all the time.
Yes.
You know?
And those guys, and for I guess lack of better term, those guys are elitists. Like Kyrie
Yeah.
and LeBron are never gonna make you feel like
Warm and fuzzy.
like
No.
nah, like they're
We're
like
all
I'm here to
equals.
do
We're
a job.
The Cavs have warm and fuzzy players.
Yeah, like
they
and,
do.
And plus, you saw them be cultivated. You saw
Yeah.
them get put together. You added Donovan Mitchell. They look like they like each other, and they have a different piece or part. Like everyone plays different.
Yeah.
So there's not like before would be like, okay, well, how many shots Kyrie get? How many shots LeBron
Right.
gonna get? Like it was
Well,
just.
I mean, think about it. The breakup eventually, and this is often the case, stemmed from who's getting the credit.
Right.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
whose team is
Right.
it? Who and
And
Kyrie
golly.
thought he could do it on his own.
Man, wow! I haven't heard that in a while. But how cringy is that when it says whose team is this?
Exactly.
Like,
It's
Right.
so
Like
stupid,
that,
right.
and we used to talk about that all the time.
I know.
Like, whose team is this? Who gets the credit? Legacy type things, and people need to understand your legacy is something you can't put together in the present.
Yeah.
Like you got to be living to play games. Legacy stuff is for Bulls kids to decide.
They could've- but you know what? They could've
Bulls
put
kid
down-
decides that.
They could have put down a hell of a legacy here.
Yeah.
they
They
really
could've
could have.
won. Oh, yeah.
They could have won.
They could have won multiple championships.
And who knows
should've.
if they stayed together and were still
Right.
together? Who knows what could have become
Yep.
from that? But what to your guys' point,
If Kyrie
about-
wouldn't have found the internet.
By the way, the Nets are playing
And
very
thought the world was
In
flat.
fairness to Kyrie right now, the Nets are playing very good
They
basketball
are.
right now,
They
too.
are.
6-0 in their last
Yeah.
six.
the Nets have turned it on. The Sixers are
The
too.
East, the 1 through 6 in the East
Here's
is
the thing
really
with the
good.
Nets, though, knowing the volatility of that team.
Oh,
and
yeah, it
him,
could fall apart.
Like, you know, that's the thing. Like,
Plus,
you don't
he's
feel-
going to get hurt at some point.
Yes, you don't feel that way with the Cavs. You know, like you can feel comfortable that they're
Yeah.
going to be just solid, if nothing else.
All
for
that
the next,
being
like,
said,
3
though,
years.
Yeah.
I would not want to see that team in the playoffs if they were healthy.
No. I want nothing to do
I
with
don't
them if
want
they're
them.
healthy.
I don't
I
want
agree.
them around.
By the way, who is your favorite Cavalier? Not who's the
Ever?
best. No, current players.
Oh.
Who is your favorite player?
Mitchell.
I think
Jared
Mitchell for me too.
I think I got to go Jarrett Allen.
Jared
too.
Allen's my favorite
I
player.
got to go
Really?
Jarrett Allen.
He's obviously not the best.
No,
but
he's not the best, but he's
there's
got the
just
right.
something about
he's got the
him.
right combo of like the right demeanor and enough talent. Like if he's
Yes.
stunk, he's not like, no offense to Lopez, bless his heart.
Yeah.
But like he's got that kind of like laid back personality and stuff
Sure.
like that you enjoy. But also it's like, well, but Allen's actually also like excellent.
He's
Very
got
good.
like the laid back Lopez, the energy on the court of what's his name? The little white point guard that we used to have. I can't
Deli.
remember.
Deli.
Oh,
Deli.
Deli. Yeah.
He's got like that energy on the court, but he's way more talented.
Yes.
And you put that together, and it's just like
He's great in
it's
interviews
so much
too.
fun.
He's great in interviews too. He's so
He just
chill.
seems like the
last night
most
for me?
down-to-earth guy on the face of the earth.
I guess what we're saying is we want to hang out with you, Jarrett Allen.
I
if you're
do.
watching. Bull and I want to hang out with you.
Yes.
I like that quote.
Jared
He had
Allen says some of the credit for his big
cheese,
score night.
sausage, and egg biscuit for dinner. That's why he played so
I
well.
love breakfast.
See, there
for
you
dinner.
go. That's what he says.
I have a quick
I
Cavs
know.
story that plays into what G said about this team camaraderie and this team being so likable. I got a friend who works in the Pacers front office.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, they came to town last week, so I
Name
went out to
dropper.
dinner with some of them.
Sure.
I'm not going to tell y'all where we went because I don't want to put them on the spot.
Right.
There was like 9 Cavs out together on a Thursday night eating dinner, and they were they weren't in a scene. They didn't have a posse. It
I
was
already
just-
know where you was at. Go ahead.
We'll talk after.
We ain't gonna out you.
And they were laughing, and it was
Good.
not like Garland was there, Mitchell was there, little Mobley. I didn't see
Yeah.
big Mobley, but little or older Mobley, even though he doesn't play. What's his name? Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah was there, and they were in the corner of the restaurant. They kind of had like their own section. You could hear them laughing. There was no girls. It was just
You were,
dudes hanging out.
of course
It
not.
was-
No girls. Get out of the way.
Unlike the Browns Saturday night. Heard about that?
Oh boy.
but like that happens on road trips a lot.
Yeah.
You don't think about that happening the night
When they're
before a
home.
home game.
Yeah.
And
I wonder,
Yeah.
was
They're
it
like, let's
was
go
it-
hang
was
out
it-
more after we just played
Yeah,
this basketball
I know.
game together.
Was it their Christmas celebration? You know how companies get
I
together?
don't know. It wasn't the whole squad wasn't there, but
Right.
they were just hanging out and like it.
I love to hear
genuinely-
it.
My buddy pointed out. My buddy
Yeah.
goes, "I don't think our guys would ever do that." And I was
Wow.
Now
That's big.
Now picture this. Now picture like Brad Sellers in here saying like, one morning I woke up and Michael Jordan had put a horse head in my bed. It's like completely different.
By the way, one guy we haven't mentioned, and have we ever seen a Cleveland athlete go like think about Kevin Love. When the Cavs first traded for Kevin Love,
Yeah.
we loved it.
Yeah.
We were writing songs, we were celebrating.
Sure.
And then he was taking like a downward trajectory. It's like he wasn't as good here as he was in Minnesota, even though there's no way he could have ever been that
Right.
good.
Yeah.
But we expected more. But he was part of the championship, so we started to go up again. And then after the championship, well, not after the championship, but after the team broke up, and he signed that big contract.
Remember
and
that play he had 2 years ago?
Wait,
We wanted him out of town that
he
night.
was down here.
We wanted him out of town that night.
I remember saying, give him away
Yes.
for anything. And now we love him again.
Yeah. Yep.
I've never seen a guy go like
And
this.
look
Yeah.
at his role.
We
His
are
role
fickle.
now is off the bench. He provides a spark and leadership. That's
Yes.
the one thing
Huge.
that this current roster
Right.
lacks.
He's better in that role.
Oh, he's
than he
fabulous
was.
in that
And to Donovan Mitchell, circling all the way back to Donovan Mitchell, you talk about leadership with Kevin Love, which he definitely has shown. Donovan Mitchell, the team, I thought it was interesting that Jetty said after the game that Donovan Mitchell's our leader because I didn't remember any of the guys saying that publicly, but like think about it, like first of all, it's not like Donovan Mitchell's been in the league for 12 years. I mean, he's a more veteran than
Right.
the other best players, but not by that much.
He's the
and
new guy
new.
on a team that had 3 All-Stars.
Yeah.
And
And
he's
for-
the leader.
And that's pretty impressive. And he talked. I heard Mitchell after the game last night say, you know, the leadership is helping the team, but it's also helping me a lot. Like I can't remember exactly what he said about like why it helped him. I forget exactly what he said, but he made the point like he thinks it's made him a better player because he said he wasn't very vocal in Utah, and now he's become more vocal.
He's got that alpha dog
No
in
doubt.
him. You know what I mean?
Without being
without being a D about it.
You know,
You're
yeah.
right, and he's got that in him, and that's something that Garland doesn't have. That's the other thing. Like he's
Garland's a Robin.
He is,
He's
and
a Robin.
He
Yeah.
can close out a game. He's an amazing player and everything. But
Yeah.
and you can pass him the ball at the last minute, and he's not gonna freeze up. But he doesn't have that. Let's go. I'm taking you down the court,
Yes,
and we're gonna get
right.
this bucket.
Now, Darius, before you think about, saying I got to go find some place where it's my team, we love you.
yeah,
Love
You
you.
need to be a Robin.
Love
Every
him.
Batman needs a Robin, and he's Robin A.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think to call him Robin means like he's almost the wingman.
No,
I do think
you're right. He's better
than that.
Absolutely.
So Robin, although that
Could they be the Wonder Twins? Remember the Wonder Twins?
I don't.
there you go. He's one of the Wonder Twins.
I look at it just like Brad
Good
said.
analogy.
I look at him as Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
And when you look at that team, you say, well, who's the leaders? And it's the guys who have the ball. Those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Garland isn't like some slouch himself.
No, not at all.
No.
And when you look at what Donovan Mitchell was able to do, and by the way, I disagree, McNuggets. I think they do get 2 All-Stars, and they might get 3.
No chance. With all due respect, no chance.
Yeah.
No, I don't see the big guys are.
It's going to be hard, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be
The East
really.
is so, and we'll run down.
It's
we got
loaded.
Some other stuff to get into today. and we'll do this topic next week when we have a little more sample size. Will be officially a third through the season, and All-Star voting did open up today. So vote for your Cavs. We retweeted it on UCSS. Check that out. Retweet it. Send these guys to the All-Star game. Show them how much you appreciate what they've done for the season. But when you look at the Eastern Conference, G, and we'll run through this next week.
It's ridiculous.
It's stupid loaded at every position. It is so talented. It always used to be the West had the majority of the stars.
Yeah.
It migrated east, man. It's crazy how loaded both the front court and the back court are.
I'm going to tell you this. If the Cavs got the number 1 or 2 record, which they have a shot at getting, 1 or 2.
They play Milwaukee tomorrow, right?
They win.
And we have, and for
They
all
win
you
that
Cavs
game.
fans out there, we just spent 20 minutes talking Cavs. We're going to do about 40 minutes on the Cavs tomorrow between True and False, the bucket game, and the preview.
Okay.
This is the ultimate Cavs second hour of the show tomorrow.
Great.
Jason Lloyd tried the bucket game, did not get it right, and he knows the Cavs as well as anyone in town.
Oh,
So
really?
you guys are in for
There's
a treat.
still time, I think, but I don't think it's going to be hard for Mobley and Allen to get on the All-Star team.
Oh, no, I think Jarrett Allen has a shot. Like, I think all 3 of them.
There's no more center position, G. It's just guard and forward.
Yeah, it's guard or
just keep that in
forward
mind.
Well, do the coaches still pick?
It's fan vote the starters,
And then the coaches fill out the roster.
So that's how you get some
They should make
actual
the teams
rational
bigger.
people.
Yeah, have them go party. Why not? Put a few more on there. But I honestly, do you care? I mean, it's
No.
nice if they are all-stars, but you think they're going to, play harder?
They had
Do
3
you think-
last year and didn't get the playoffs.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
maybe it's better in a
I don't
way
really
if they
care.
can keep them hungry, maybe.
I do.
You do?
I
You want that
play.
recognition?
Because here's the thing. I want those guys to have that feeling.
To
that,
feel
that feeling
invulnerable.
That feeling translates during the rest of the year. You come off that break, and if you playing bad, you can look around and like, come on, bro, we had 3 All-Stars. We got two All-Stars. Let's get it
Largely
done.
symbolic, though. I think that if you want, the Cavs have now what you want. They have a well-balanced team with a nice mix of veterans, young guys, superstars. I think they've got guys that fit into that category. I think that the balance on this Cavs team is really unlike anything we've seen. Even during the LeBron years, they had the triumvirate of LeBron, Love, I would throw Love in there, and Kyrie. But this team has depth. This team has an all-star caliber player coming off the bat. I love the mix of this team.
I think we all hope that maybe they could take LeVert and upgrade on him.
It'd be nice.
And then get Rubio back here at some point,
Yeah,
which they are.
Well, they
and
say
then we'll see.
January for Rubio, right?
Whenever.
Is Kyle Korver still playing? Is he?
I think he's
No,
retired.
Kyle
he's
Korver's a
they-
shooting coach in the NBA now.
Yeah,
Of course he is.
Can we get him to come out of retirement just to spot up a couple places over somewhere and hit a couple of shots?
Play him on offensive
How about
quarter of
Ray
defense.
Allen? We got Ray Allen.
Yeah, tap
Yeah.
out.
Larry Bird want to come back?
I do believe they need one more player. They need one more player if they're going to beat the Bucks. I think Giannis is just too much of a monster. I think they need some more three-point shooting. If they continue to play defenses the way they're playing, they'll beat a lot of teams. But they're not that. They're not, and they have to have home court advantage. They can't beat.
No,
Milwaukee
they're going to struggle on the
2 times
road.
on
Yeah.
their home court.
Nope.
Maybe
They can't
Brad's
do that.
right. Maybe they should call Carmelo Anthony.
No,
He's out
no.
there.
No.
Listen, I
Why?
love Brad.
He's wrong about
In
Carmelo.
my opinion, that's the worst idea possible.
He's extremely washed.
Not
Why?
only
Because of the chemistry
and
problem
I
that
think,
could.
Not that he's a bad egg by any means. I think he, at this point of his career, he understands what he is. But Darius Garland was 6 years old watching Melo as a rookie. And there's that weird, young players always play well with LeBron because they just defer to LeBron naturally. It's it's LeBron, I got. Melo has to come in, and if he was to be involved with this team, he just has to be a piece. And I think guys with that stature and that resume have a really hard time just being a piece, even later in their career with young guys, because they don't know how to just make him
Very
an
few have
ancillary
done
part.
it. Very,
All right, Mike. That's
I
a
mean,
good
what
point.
we're talking about with Kevin Love. Kevin Love is doing it.
I bring. You know why I would bring him in? It's for the simple fact. I think sometimes younger players, we coddle them a lot. We'll say, "Oh, we can't do that." He'll get confused. Remember, we said, "Well, Baker spreads the ball around better, and if he feels he has to throw it to one guy, he's going to get confused." Listen, I need all the pieces and parts I can get.
And to your point, G, and Mike, this is what even though you make a fair point, if let's say Carmelo's screwing up the chemistry. Then you
They can
cut
get
him.
rid of him.
You can get
Yeah.
rid of him.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a long-term contract.
It's a no risk move. I just
Yeah.
there
I-
has to be a better.
I don't
way.
think the game's big.
And Donovan Mitchell, you got a buffer on all that now.
Yeah, that's true.
because if it was just Darius Garland and Mobley, a lot of soft-spoken dudes,
Yeah.
they might not. Donovan Mitchell ain't gonna like have.
There's a
people,
clear-cut leader now.
come in here acting
That's
up.
true.
That ain't gonna work.
That's true.
Yeah.